If you look up the most used words in the English language, first on the list is the. The list goes on, mostly with prepositions, conjunctions, and verbs like my, one, of, and it. You have to get all the way down to number 55 until you see a true noun, the word time. Well, if someone compiled a list of my most used words, anyone who's watched this channel for more than a day would not be surprised to see Ethereum pretty high on that list. I've been talking about Ethereum for a long time. I've been talking about Ethereum on this channel since it was a couple $100s, and there are many reasons for that. Ethereum is the most useful asset in crypto. It's being developed constantly. It's got over 200,000 ERC20 projects. It's the leading network for DeFi platforms. It's home to many stablecoins, and it uses smart contracts. Historically, Ethereum also outperforms Bitcoin in price. It's hard not to talk about Ethereum all the time. And today, we're going to look into what Ethereum has been up to lately. Let's get it. Welcome to BitBoy Crypto, home of the BitSquad, the largest and greatest crypto community in all the interwebs. My name is Ben. Every day on this channel, I show you how to make money in crypto. If you like money in crypto, make sure to hit that subscribe button. In this video, we talk about what's new with Ethereum and how to stay ahead of the pack. Although Ethereum itself is about a year away from being a proof-of-stake smart contract platform, which will happen with the release of ETH 2.0, many of the projects that run on Ethereum's proof-of-work consensus are still humming along just fine. Ethereum is currently the highway that over 200,000 ERC20 smart contract projects drive on. Smart contracts are just what they sound like, contracts between two parties that are made smart by establishing parameters beforehand. And when the parameters are met, the contract fulfills automatically. Examples of smart contract agreements are monetary transactions, land deeds, loans, and insurance. Sergey Nazarov, co-founder of Chainlink, smart contract protocol that currently runs on the Ethereum network, spoke with Lex Friedman on his podcast about how powerful smart contracts really are. In early May, Nazarov gave the example of crop insurance in developing countries. If a farmer plants a crop and it never rains, in America, the farmer would get crop insurance so he wouldn't have to close down the farm the next year. Some developing nations are decades away from this kind of insurance project being established, and no rain can mean losing the farm. However, if a farmer used a smart contract platform to purchase insurance, the smart contract would operate automatically to pay out the farmer if the crops didn't grow. Since it's a smart contract, there would be no room for corruption, no claims adjuster to decide if he's going to get the payment, and no government approval needed. The smart contract can be programmed to monitor the weather in the area, and if there was no rain, the contract would be fulfilled automatically and the farmer would get paid. Smart contract transactions go through when the terms of the contract are met, and the transaction fails if the terms aren't met. As you can imagine, this has a multitude of practical applications, like crowdfunding, where the contract only succeeds if the project gets fully funded, and otherwise the funds are returned to the people who funded it. Ethereum is already running endless smart contract protocols, and ETH itself is upgrading at a rapid pace to function exclusively as a smart contract ecosystem. Ethereum has many use cases that will become even more efficient with the release of ETH 2.0. Looks like, once again, Solidity, ETH's JavaScript-like programming code, speaking our language. Shoyu, an umbrella term for Japanese soy sauce, has become the moniker for the new NFT platform by LevX on Sushi Swap. This platform is nearly complete, with the backend finished and the front-end infrastructure to be released in version 1 and version 2 stages within the year. Sushi Swap is a popular DeFi platform that runs on Ethereum, and the aim of the NFT platform is to bring social tokens, multi-format NFT support, programmable art, fractional NFT ownership, and much more. Focus of the platform will be immersive gallery mode, which is the Sushi Swap adaptation to the 3D metaverse, which will run on Ethereum. The metaverse. Not just for gamers and sci-fi nerds. The metaverse is coming to the real world in the future, and NFTs on Ethereum will play a major role in it. Think of the metaverse as augmented reality, where users can interact with things and go to places in virtual reality itself. Like I said, this isn't just gaming. Imagine you could take your kids on a field trip to see the Egyptian pyramids for a fraction of the cost and without leaving your house. Or go see a movie with friends who live on the other side of the world. What about real-world online shopping? actually seeing an item from all angles, being able to touch it before you buy it, or getting news and alerts in a dynamic way that directly connects with your life. This is why Apple is currently reviving the idea of Google Glass, wearable computing that can augment reality in a real way, and why kids around the world will be asking for VR goggles at Christmas. All this upcoming augmented reality is going to be a commodity and will need to be paid. Enter NFTs that run on Ethereum. The release of Shoyu hasn't done much for the price of Sushi or Ethereum yet, but this is only because the metaverse is still in its infancy. But it's coming. People are starting to speculate on the potential for a boom in the future. DeFi, another top word in my vocabulary, and I don't see that changing anytime soon. Why? Because DeFi is only getting started. On Friday, David Hoffman of Bankless, a paid newsletter program for everything crypto, tweeted that every new DeFi app that is deployed to Ethereum is an upgrade to ETH. DeFi is absolutely crushing price action right now. Many technical analysts for Bitcoin believe that DeFi is going to be the first mover in getting us out of this mini bear market. If you don't know, DeFi is short for decentralized finance, where monetary transactions can be made autonomously with automatic market makers or AMMs. Funding is provided by user-driven liquidity pools. Transactions are fulfilled automatically. Prices of an asset are determined mathematically by a formula created by Vitalik Buterin and simplified by Uniswap. X times Y equals K. Basically what this means is an asset's price goes up as the liquidity in the pool decreases and down when the liquidity in the pool or demand for the asset decreases. Pretty simple. DeFi is far and away the future of finance because it takes the middlemen and all the fees that go along with them out of that equation. It gives people and institutions power over their money and their transactions. It's also more profitable if you compare the yields of adding your funds to liquidity pools versus traditional bank interest rates, which are as close to zero as you can get without being round. All this powerful tech, you guessed it, most of it runs on Ethereum, with the London hard fork set to be released in mere weeks, which will help to regulate gas fees and institute ETH burning to make the asset deflationary over time, and ETH 2.0, which will bring full smart contract operation to Ethereum. It's easy to see why it's one of our favorite crypto assets and a mainstay in my vocabulary. Analysts at Goldman Sachs, the second largest investment bank in the world, have reaffirmed their bullish stance on Ethereum, saying that they believe Ethereum will be a better store of value than Bitcoin. Recently, Goldman Sachs filed for a Bitcoin ETF with the SEC. Matthew McDermott, head of digital assets, stated that there is an interest from clients who are an Ethereum ETF because they see its price as a better entry point with more upside potential. The reason that Goldman sees Ethereum as a better store of value is its high use potential and the fact that so many smart contract platforms already run on it. An article in Forbes says, analysts at Wall Street giant Goldman Sachs have predicted Ethereum has the potential to eclipse Bitcoin in the coming years. Institutions are here to stay, and Ethereum has become a highly used word at big banks and investment firms everywhere. Welcome to my world, Goldman Sachs. Finally, stablecoins. There are many stablecoins that run on the Ethereum network, and Circle, issuer of the USDC stablecoin, plans to go public in a $4.5 million SPAC deal. SPAC, or SPAC, is short for Special Purpose Acquisition Company, which basically means a company that doesn't do anything but has a lot of money and is looking for an existing company to take public that actually does do something. In this case, the SPAC is Concord Acquisition Group, and they've gotten funding from Fidelity and Marshall Wace and Willett Advisors, which is the investment group for Michael Bloomberg's personal philanthropic assets. Each USDC is fully backed by US dollars and equivalent assets and plans to intensify the stablecoin battle for market supremacy that have been churned up with Tether over whether USDT is fully backed by USD and equivalent assets. Whether Tether has been targeted by FUD is another issue entirely, but the news that USDC is stablecoin with massive backing from the digital currency group shows just how important ETH will be to the future of stablecoins. Stablecoins, DeFi, and now NFTs means that Ethereum is only increasing in usability and value. No wonder Ethereum has outperformed Bitcoin in price and why we believe Ethereum history is going to repeat. That's all I got. Be blessed. BitBoy out.